I'm public enemy number one. I'm not falling for nothing. I'm not falling for the gangbang. I'm not falling for the. I should have went to college. I mean, I did. I do got some college experience at El Camino, but I wanted to speak about black culture though. You know, I was raised on 109th and Broadway in the 80s. You know, 107th and San Pedro, 60th and Wall, 108th and Avalon. So these are places, if you're not from LA, these are places you don't tour. You're not a tourist, or the Airbnbs suggest, and they don't have many Airbnbs over there and stuff like that. In the 80s and 90s, it was at its worst point, you know, in LA, where it's got a reputation. So, you know, I'm familiar with the culture. You know what I'm saying? At 19, I was about to tattoo nigga for life. I was in Wayside. Was I at Wayside? Yeah, I was at the ranch. Yeah, I was at the ranch in Wayside. You know, that's low level. You know, only had like 5 months. You know, but you know, I was at the time I was gangbanging, wanted to tap myself up. You know, this is in '93. You know, when tats wasn't commercialized. You know, fortunately, I did not get the tattoo nigga for life. You know, I'm such a walking contradiction. I mean, you know, I've changed. You know, things grow. I get more pieces to the puzzle, and stuff starts to make sense. And right now, with our culture, with black culture, we got to really examine it. You know, we gotta understand, because we consistently tell white America what we do and do not want from them. So in one sense, we're acknowledging that we are a little piece of America, and we don't see that. We think we're a great piece of America, and in one sense, we are a great piece of America. We're about 70% of the culture of American culture, but we're not all of it. And you know, at one point they control it. And not all white people, but you know, the elitists, the power structure, they control it. They control the NFL, the NBA, the music industry, the movie industry. They control it. Even though we get chipped off, they control it. And we want to snuggle and be, you know, cozy and, you know, get the American dream inside of a country that's 64% white. So it's majority white. Well, I know, and people try to debate that not for long. And well, they got 99% of the power, so I don't care how many. I don't care if they're 1%. If you got 99% of the power, and whatever your numbers is moot. You know, so. But that's on one hand, and on another hand is this. This is on the other hand. You know, where there's white supremacy. White supremacy also means black inferiority. So when a brother don't get a job, or when a brother gangbang, or when a brother shoots another brother, or when a brother loses his mind, and, you know, with mental psychosis, or don't go to college, he is part of the structure of white supremacy. Because in order for white supremacy to be real, black inferiority has to be present. It has to be alive along with white supremacy. And that's part of white supremacy. Hey, you're not going to be a doctor or a lawyer. You might as well work for McDonald's. You don't want those McDonald's wages. You might as well flip a pack, get you a pound of weed, and go to Mississippi, go to Alabama, go to some place where it's illegal. You know what I'm saying? With that Cali chronic, they need it. Side note, they need that Cali. You know, the whole world needs it, baby. The whole world. We've been so blessed with our Cali. You know what I'm saying? With our Cali Kush. We've been so blessed and living out our best lives. We want to share it with the whole world for a price. But I digress. So we got to understand that they're not, I mean, come on, man. I'm going to just put it plain and simple, man. I'm putting it plain and simple. Why would you expect your enemy to help you? And what I mean by enemy, I mean by the elitists. I mean by the top 1%. You know, I don't necessarily mean Bill Gates or Warren Buffett or Mark Zuckerberg. These people, they accomplish that. They're made men. They accomplish that amount of wealth in their lifetime. I'm talking about 11th century old money. You know, why would they possibly help us? And they are the ones who contribute to the politicians. So the politicians' job is to tell you yes, which really in reality they're not. They're not. You know, it's worse than ever. You know, what point in time in history of our 400 years have blacks been killing each other at a record number? At a record number. There is 42 million blacks. There's 214 million whites. And we kill more, and black people kill more black people than whites kill more whites. Now that's part of, you know, white supremacy and stuff. But also, we're living underneath white supremacy, and we're totally capitulated. That means we don't want no problems, and we just want to live out our lives underneath white supremacy and complain here and there that is white supremacy. Now, I'm gonna come back a little bit. The reason why I say the elitists is my enemies because they consistently attack our communities. They put God know what in the food supply. Our faucet water has from fluoride to mental psychosis, drugs to it's just to lead. It's just so that's our water supply. And in the air, you know, even white people are like, what are these chemtrails? And people are like, oh, it's nothing. I'm like, well, if we had an honest government, then we can say, yeah, it's nothing, don't worry about it. But we don't. We have a government that gets caught, like with the crack cocaine. They get caught. And they don't even acknowledge it. They don't even say, that's reparations right there, just the crack cocaine in the inner city. But it's not, because no one told them to smoke the dope. No one told them to sell houses. And no one told them to sell houses to immigrants. So, there you have it. But, so that's why I say they're my enemies. Because they're going to attack me whether I fight back or not. Whether I want to, you know, snuggle in their system or not. They're going to attack me. Right now, it's the gang violence. If I defend myself from gang violence, they're going to arrest me. They're going to say, you one of them. I'll say, well, I've been working. Well, you one of them with a job. They go over that. When you get arrested, that's part of our culture. We don't think too low of prison. And then the opposite of white culture is they think low of prison. Prison is low to them because they know you can't pay a mortgage in prison. You can't pay a car note in prison. Or you get all your money taken away like Bernie Madoff in prison. So prison is a bad thing. And we look at it as a whatever thing, you know. Actually, we don't. We be like, nigga, I did 10 years. You ain't about that life. Okay, so let me get this straight. I'm not about that life of destroying my whole entire life by having multiple felonies and going in and out of jail. What am I about? A successful life? I'm passing through a residential area right now. Mostly apartments. Most of the owners, they're trying to stay out of jail because that property might get taken from them. Maybe not. If they got automatic debit and stuff like that, maybe not. But with our culture, we're raised to be tough. We try to be the toughest thing on earth. And I've never seen a black man punch out a police bullet. I've never seen it. Soon as we get killed by the police, the indecency. This is horrible. Well, I thought y'all was bullies and bosses. That's part of our culture, right? Being a bully and a boss. I thought we were bullying bosses until the police show up. We're bullying bosses till the feds show up. But at least we're bullying bosses to ourselves. At least we could boss other black people around and be bullies to other black people. That's a win, right? Is that a win? Is it? What is in our culture? They say, you're a woman, you should be independent and strong. They hold up to Hollywood, and the Hollywood upholds Cardi B, for being sexually promiscuous. And you try, she could do that. And then she goes home and be a mother and have a ball with her rich husband. You try to do that, and you're going to be alone. You're going to be with 2 kids alone. And this is what they want. See, they don't necessarily want Jay-Z in jail. They want thousands of other people that emulates hey, I could be a gangster, I could be a gangbanger, I could sell drugs, I could sell dope, I could shoot people, put it all in a rap, and go sky high. Now it's Lil Durk. Lil Durk's put up on a pedestal. They gave him an alley-oop. They told him to be on one little bitty verse on Drake, and him and Drake is nominated. I was like, yo, knock this off. Come on. I could have breathed on the track, and all of a sudden, Cyforce, he's the man. Yeah, come on, dude, come on. I ain't gonna lie, for the longest I heard, I thought that was Meek Mill on there. And then somebody was like, nah, that's Lil Durk. I said, oh, Lil Durk. I ain't know much about him, but then I got on these YouTube streets, and Lil Durk is from O Block with Moo-Wop and King Von. They best buddies. He's on his new album, The Voice. Moo-Wop and 4 other individuals just got charged from a federal indictment RICO case about the killing of FBG Duck. He was killed in the north side of Chicago, on the white side of Chicago, and the police couldn't do nothing and didn't do nothing. Mayor, nobody did something. FBI had to step in. It wasn't like that. They was trying, but then the FBI was like, no, we've been watching these dudes forever. We got all their Instagram posts. We got all their tweets and everything. We've been watching them for a long time. So they've been calling out this execution and stuff like that. So, and it was a year and a half afterwards. So King Von is dead. The members of O Block that shot up FBG Duck is have a RICO act on them and currently incarcerated. One of the dudes committed suicide, but they said, oh, it was because of a girl. It wasn't because of life in prison. It was because of a girl. Go figure. But you know what I'm saying? You believe what you want to believe. This is part of our black culture that I'm talking about. So how can we get ahead if, for one, white supremacy is controlling our money supply, our big money supply? The reason why Kanye West is at $9 billion is because of whites. The reason that gave him the opportunity because of his fame, perpetuated his fame to another level. The reason why Jay-Z is at $1 billion because of whites buying his album, because the whites going to his patronizing him with his cologne and his 40/40 club, and stuff like that. High end club. Blacks too. Blacks be going there too. But it's been mostly whites buying his album and stuff like that. And him gaining the fame so he can venture forth in 16 other companies, which is awesome. But as far as, now Robert Smith is something different. Robert Smith, he earned a hedge fund. So he was part of, he's a fraternity. So he's in that Jack and Jill. He's in that well-to-do black, upper class. And because of his education and how intelligent he was, and his intelligence not being biased to it. But when you be at an intelligent point, it's not respected. Like, being a gangster is respected. Being a gangster is respected in the black community in one form or another. Because they'll slide through and take your life. So you got to respect something about them, or they gonna take their respect. You know what I mean? Whites don't have to deal with that. In white supremacy, they like, we're white. We don't have to be tough. Why? We just gotta stay rich, be smart to get rich. We don't need to be tough. Well, blacks, we need to be tough. And we pan it out on each other. Then we blame the whites. Then we say, hey, y'all not building our community. And they're looking around like we're not supposed to build your community. You are actually, why would we want Watts to be the next Bel Air? Why would we build Watts to be like Brentwood? Why would we build Compton to be like West LA? Silly mortal. Silly Negro. Oh, man. And how can we build our community? What are we going to build it with? Wingstop and Roscoe's? What are we going to build our community? One of my coworkers was like, we need black banks. But then I heard on the YouTube that made a lot of sense. See, on this YouTube channel, they was discussing black wealth versus white wealth. And it was like, look, if we get a black bank, they're going to charge you extra fees. Small banks have to charge you extra fees because they don't have a lot of capital as much as Chase or BFA or Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo been out since 1800s. When you got that feminist movement, you don't see white women doing that. They get married. Don't believe in that. I don't need no man. You can say that about a black man because he doesn't build or own anything. So you can easily say, I don't need no man. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to black men, it's easily said. There's a lot of black men to this day that's not about shit. To this day. I'm going to go to the gas station. I don't know how many black men gonna ask me for $1. They tired of me because I be like, no, get your ass out of here. Get your own dollar, motherfucker. But how many tents? There's a lot of tents in LA. How many tents? Black men are underneath those tents. And it's part of our culture. This is the end point. This is what people don't see as part of the culture. They say, hey, I'm young. I don't want to work at McDonald's. I want to make 30, 40 G's this week. I'm like, oh my God, that's easy money. That's fast money. And fast money go quick. But you're risking your freedom. And risking your freedom is risking time. And time is more valuable than money. Time is more valuable than money. Give you an example. Win the lotto at 90. I mean, I'm sure you pay for a lot of your medical bills now, but you see how they like, ooh, a little too late there. You know what I'm saying? You could have won it at 18 and been the, you know what I'm saying? It's a big difference. An 18-year-old winning the lotto versus a 90-year-old winning the lotto. I love the ideal. Some people are idealistic. There's no difference. If you can't see the difference, I'm sorry to tell you that Santa Claus don't exist. That's the ideal. When people think idealistically, you don't know that. Like I hear a lot of my black, because I be trying to explain about Kevin Samuels, and I'm not a fan of Kevin Samuels. I'm like, whatever. A lot of people be like, oh, that's the Godfather. I love him. Well, that's the man. That's the one. And I'm like, well, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't like how you talk to women. And I've noticed in a couple of things he kind of toned it down, and I like his message. His message is not going to come across to a lot of black women because of how harsh he says it, you know. But I be trying to explain it to some of my sisters, like, look, you know, a high value man is looking for a certain type of woman that don't have kids and young. It's like this. It's like this. Black men are stereotyped for having good sex. We are. We're stereotyped. Me don't even think of it because mine is above. Mine is great. Is beyond great. I don't even come up to me like that, sisters. If y'all see this video, don't even come up to me like that. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was just me, but we're stereotyped for having great sex. But women think all of them have great sex, and we as men, we know y'all don't. We know some of y'all don't have it. I'm sorry to tell y'all, but it's not a color; it's an age. It's called low mileage. Y'all hear young, tender, low mileage. So this is what Kevin Samuel's talking about. You know. And the idealism is, you don't know. You know, a lot of my homegirls be like, you don't know. And I'm like, no, you don't want to know. You've been idealistic. You know, ideally, I could become a doctor and a lawyer and an author, but that's idealistically. But in reality, what good is being a part-time doctor and a part-time lawyer? What good is it? That's no good. I mean, you know, if you manage your time, you know, you do your 2 surgeries. You know, if you do 2 surgeries, brain surgeries, that's about $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 each. So you're at 800,000 just by going in the office twice, and then, you know, turn around do 2 major cases, which might be 400,000. You might make each. So you know you make over, you know, but come on, it's also about what 12 years of education, hard education. You know what I mean? So the reality versus the ideal, you know, is different. So I see that a lot of black women, and that's part of the culture too, because they be like, you don't know what's going to happen to him. I'm like, statistically, yes, I do. Yes, I do. But people don't want to get to the harshness of our culture. If you don't work, if you don't go to college, if you do break the law, you're gonna wind up Skid Row. You're gonna wind up Folsom. You're gonna Inglewood Cemetery. That's where you're gonna wind up, bro. You're gonna wind up there. That's where it's leading you to. And people say, you don't know. Oh, I got about 40 years of statistics to show that yes, I did. Yeah. Out of like in 40 years, it's probably been let's say 4 or 5, let's say 10 million. Let's say 10 million in 40 years. 10 million, over 10 million people. And then you look at Jay-Z. That's 1 out of 10 million. And we don't know what agenda they have until it's too late. You know, but for right now, the agenda is if you're black and you kill another black person, that's just regular crime. That's not a form of black inferiority. And that's what I'm saying our culture is. Our culture is black inferiority. Our culture was developed underneath white supremacy. So it's black inferiority. If I say I have a PhD, do you think I'm an educated lame? If I say that I'm a gangster, you're going to call me a Pookie and Ray Ray, but if I make it to the level of Nipsey Hussle and King Von, then I'm a hero. But they control that narrative. They the ones that created the music industry. So they gave us this avenue. We created hip hop, but they gave us the avenue of the music industry. We're not thinking of creating a whole different avenue, like some type of internet website that displays only, and that's only about $5,000 to get that. I don't know, 5 to 10. I don't know, fifty to $70,000. It's not that expensive to just get a website and we funnel all of our stuff there. You know, I just don't. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand. You know, we're jumping out the window. I mean, think about it. Slave owner tells us, "You're a dumb monkey. You don't supposed to get smart." Matter of fact, we outlawed it, so don't get smart. And 2021, we still uphold that. They say now you can say, "Oh well, black women, we came up. Y'all still like the Pookie Ray Rays. Y'all still like it. We black men and black women are still upholding the boys die by the thousands. That's Jay-Z quote. Marcy Housen, where the boys die by the thousands. We uphold that, and then we wonder why our black men aren't building. How? Where? When 30 Pookies could surround us and you know, look, I'm on Adams and Normandy. That 7-Eleven came up. There was, when I first came around this neighborhood, it was a gas station. It was one of those cheap ones, right? Then it went down. Now, probably somebody bought it already and, you know, was already thinking about developing the 7-Eleven there, 7-Eleven gas station. But how come the gang around here, rolling 20s, why didn't they find a way to purchase a 7-Eleven gas station? I mean, first of all, I don't even know how to purchase a 7-Eleven. You know, you go on one of those selling franchise sites, you know, they'll tell you that 7-Eleven is probably about 700,000. That takes a big company. That takes a big company with a lot of exposable capital, other than the 750 in cash. And then if you have 750,000 in cash and it's not in stocks or it's not somewhere that's accruing some type of interest, you know, if you have that disposable income or that type of capital to invest in, then you have to invest in something like a 7-Eleven gas station, something that's making you money, because you have your 700,000 already there in the equity. You have monthly income coming in. You have your expenses and stuff like that. Your accounts of pay. I always say accounts payable. Yeah, accounts payable, and then after that you have profit each month. But then you still have your 700,000, and that was just a down payment for, you know, the building itself is probably worth, you know, close to $2 million. You know, especially with this inflation right now. You know, it's December 15th, 2021. Yeah, we're inflated. Inflation is crazy. So come together and do that. Why don't they come together with the 30s, they worst enemies, and do it? Why do they come together with, you know, and these gang members not thinking on that level? On another note, why didn't I do that? Because I seen it too. You know, and look, the first step of becoming financially stable is you got to stabilize your finances. That's the first step. You got to stabilize. You gotta discipline yourself to save. You gotta save. You gotta have cash, and you know, everybody look, when you get a home loan, people look at that. When you get a car, people look at that. You know, the management of your money, because that tells you if he's gonna default in 2 years. It's gonna tell you everything. You know, you gotta. That's why you got a 550 credit score. You a defaulter. To me, I call it a scam artist. You got a 550 credit score. You a scam artist. You gonna tell them, I promise you, I'm gonna get you. I got you. 3 months down the line, 5 months down the line, 2 years down the line, Mr. Noble, we're waiting for that payment, Mr. Noble. What's going on? So instead of asking the government what they could do or the money that we get from them, because money does not solve any problem. Even if I had that $700,000 for that 7-Eleven, I still don't know what I'm doing. I still got to find somebody who did it before, who built a 7-Eleven from the ground up. How much is that going to cost? How much headache that is? The trucking company getting the gas. I got to find someone who knows all that. That is the real gold. And who could manage his money and has a corporation and business. Because if he can't manage his money, he's going to run away with my $700,000, whether he knows how to build it or not. You know what I'm saying? So it's not the money. Reparations is not going to help us. It's not the money. It is the actions. It's how we go about things. It's our why. You know, I say the what, why. It's the why, how, and what. Why you're doing it. Oh, to build our community. Okay? Because no one else is going to do it. They're not going to turn Watts into Beverly Hills. They're not doing it. They're not going to do it. They turn Watts into the worst, the most economically disenfranchised community by outsourcing jobs. And this is why so many whites were backing up Trump. People don't understand why. One of the reasons why is they're treating them like black people now. They're not treating black people like white people. They're exterminating us. The abortion, that did it well. The black on black gangs with the gangster rap, they found a sweet spot. They found a sweet spot right there. We're just marching into it. And then we want to talk about mass incarceration is racist. If mass incarceration and police brutality is racist, then the flip side of that is the pimps, players, hustlers, and gangsters. Because now you're perpetuating reasons. We could have easily been, hey, we're upstanding. We don't know what you're talking about. Well, the media, I'm so tired of the media. Every time I find a black person, he's so nice and polite and upstanding. And if we flood the legal systems and the police departments with jobs, what can they do then? If we just do the right thing, what can they say about us? Because they've been saying this narrative since 1906, since the birth of a nation. They've been saying the same narrative. We are criminals. We wasn't even criminals back then like that. Not like this. But you see throughout time, George Zimmerman kills Trayvon Martin. He gets off scot-free. Those white boys, the two white boys, kill Audrey, AA. I don't want to mispronounce the name. And they had the video footage and stuff like that, and they get time. OJ, when that happened to OJ, they was convinced OJ did it because that was the narrative for over 100 years. For over 100 years, we secretly wanted to rape and brutalize white women. That was the narrative they were giving out. So with OJ, they was like, he did it. Come on. I'm like, hey, I'm black. I gotta ride with the J. I gotta ride with the J, sir. I'm like, OJ is an educated lame. He's not a Pookie and Ray Ray. So in my hood blackness sense, I was like, OJ do it. Yeah, right. He won't bust a grape. He won't pop a pimple. Yeah, come on, man. OJ? Yeah, he'll beat up a woman, but that's about it. I don't know but you never know. But I would say that since he's an educated lame and not a Pookie and Ray Ray, calling people educated lames or Pookie and Ray Rays is extremely childish. Another thing, that's our culture, that slave owners, because slave owners gave us our culture. Don't become educated. It's cool to be dumb. It's smart to be dumb. That's don't be educated. It's smart to be dumb. You secretly like white women. You're good at sports. And you hate yourself. You ain't white. You hate yourself. When can we celebrate being black? I know Atlanta's tired of seeing black people. Atlanta's like, damn, Chocolate City again? God damn. Can it be the metropolitan at least? I know. And maybe I'm in the wrong city. I'm in LA. We're decimated. Spread out. Everybody in the country is coming. So they already wiped out the blacks. We're just scattered. We see each other. We don't even say nothing. We don't say, black man, hey, how you doing? Oh, man, I didn't see one in like 15 minutes. We don't do none of that. We look at each other like I'm from O Block and he from Tookieville. That's how we look at each other. That's how black people communicate with each other. What else? Oh, childish. They called us boy for 400 years. So that's what slavery. So our culture basically was given to us by slavery, by white supremacy, and by slavery through the mechanisms of slavery. That's how our culture was given to us. We need to rethink everything. When I rethink everything. This is our country. We're only 12%. I don't understand that. You want to uphold democracy. You want to vote for democracy. But we're only 12%. If the 64, which they won't ever, nobody's in straight consensus. Some blacks are Democrats, some blacks are communists, some blacks are socialists, very few blacks are communists. Some blacks are Republican, but mostly Democrat or Republican. So even at 12%, we galvanize to one or two places. Oh, I get it. I'm just saying we got to rethink, because our culture was given us under white supremacy, and the only thing they could give us is black inferiority. Here you go with the welfare. Hey, you should be a single mom. We're locking up these niggas anyway. You gonna be a single mom anyway. We killing these niggas up anyway. We giving guns to niggas to kill other niggas anyway. So you might as well, you have to learn the code to be a single mom. You have to learn, And then the psychological damage of being men dominated by another male group. It kind of fucks with your head, where people break out overly masculine or overly submissive as men. So that kind of messes your head, but we have to rethink our culture. Our culture is given to us by our enemy. And our enemy, I say he's our enemy because our enemy, the elitists, the 1%, they perpetuate black inferiority by promoting white supremacy.